at the convention, and I tried to get Miss Kelly, but she never did get an opportunity to come out.
Okay.
All ready? And all right, let me just get a picture of you. Look it up. All righty, one more. Thank you.
Yeah, Nancy.
Like yourselves. The panel that's speaking to them now are about getting jobs following their military careers, and they've heard from General Spencer. So they're having a little bit of a mix in terms of the information that they've received, and the panel would give them a whole different look at history and look at the history of the military. So with that, I just want to thank you. The person who's going to be introducing you here is Craig Horn. Your moderator, as I said, is Mr. Jackson. And just be ready for those folks to come in to put those lav mics on you. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable when they do that, but they're going to do that quickly when this panel's over. And then we'll line you up. Probably we'll get chairs out on the stage, and we'll put you on the stage in the order that you're in the program. Does anybody have any questions about that? Is there anyone who's particularly hard of hearing who should be near the podium? They're all hard. Everybody's hard of hearing. Gotcha. Gotcha. That's helpful. So Ron, just be clear. Just be clear. We might have to repeat questions. Is there anything else that the
Just to let you know, after this panel is finished, there's going to be a short break. So we had plenty of time to kind of get arranged. So there'll be a delay a little bit longer. We expect to start your panel shortly after 11 o'clock. It's now 11:15. I'm going to go speed these folks up a little bit.
Does anyone need a restroom before we go? There are two restrooms.
Toilets back here.
Toilets, if anyone needs a bathroom. Okay. And
Figure I get the lay of the land today.
I also have emotional intelligence. I'll focus on my other comments.
American icons, the Tuskegee Airmen. The moderator of our panel is Mr. Ron Jackson. Mr. Jackson is a third-generation military man who's currently a tour guide at the U.S. Capitol, but formerly a proud paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division. I'm from North Carolina, so we're exceptionally proud of the 82nd and their actions over at Fort Bragg. We'd like to tell people we are the most military-friendly state in the nation, and we work really hard to live up to that. But so without any further ado, Mr. Jackson, you're on. Thank you very much.
Thank you and good morning. Welcome to the William G. McGowan Theater, and we're here to salute American icons, the Tuskegee Airmen. Please allow me to briefly introduce the panel, and then we'll come back and hear from our panelists, and then we'll ask field to give questions, I may recite the question a time or two, just for clarity. Let's first begin with the person closest to me, with the blue cap, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Friend. Next to him, Lieutenant Colonel Harold Brown, Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Jefferson, Lieutenant Colonel James H. Harvey III, and our closer, Lieutenant Colonel Harry Stewart. Let's first begin with Lieutenant Colonel Robert Friend, who was born in Columbia, South Carolina. His father fought in World War I. So what we'll do is, Colonel Friend, sir, we'll yield the floor to you, and then we'll ask friends in the audience to give a few questions. So let's have a round of applause for our first panelist. So Colonel Friend, just give us just a brief history about you and just your accounts in the military, and we'll
I was always interested in flying, and when the chances were offered me, I took them rather greedily. For instance, I had a pilot's license in the late 30s because I was a part of a program that the United States was doing in defense, like potential defense of itself, and that was to train people to fly airplanes as we were doing in Europe. And so when time came for us to go to Tuskegee, I was more than prepared, and I enjoyed it. The one thing that I would like to clarify from my personal standpoint, everybody says Tuskegee, the place where they trained the African Americans. That's the wrong way, I think, to look at it. The right way to look at it is that was the place where they trained people who were not white. You could be anything else. And so I went through the program and went through 3 wars. You know, very, very fortunate to be able to be here to speak to you and to let you know how we felt. Thank you.
Would anyone like to ask a question of Colonel Friend? If so, please stand. I would like to make note, given the bio that you see on the screen, and for our audience that may be streaming, if I may, veteran of 142 combat missions with the Tuskegee Airmen, and wingman to the unit's leader and the first African-American general in the Air Force, Benjamin O. Davis Jr. Yesterday was the anniversary of Benjamin O. Davis Sr. Receiving his 1-star October 25th, 1940. There's very few of us in this audience that remember 1940, yet our panel does. All right, so let's introduce Lieutenant Colonel Harold Brown from Minneapolis, Minnesota, whose father also fought in World War I. So Colonel Brown, would you give us just a brief history of you, a summary of your events in the military, please, sir?
Certainly. I was born and raised Minneapolis, Minnesota. And when I was about in the 6th grade, 11 years old, I woke up one morning and guess what? I was going to become a military fighter pilot. Well, at the mention of that, my mother, who looked at me, and isn't it strange how your mother can look at you and say, he has all this wonderful talent, when I had no talent whatsoever. See things that no one else could see. So I sat on that piano stool for the first 10 years of my life or so. And then in the 6th grade, at 11 years old, I decided I was going to become a military pilot. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how. I don't remember seeing a movie about it. But one morning I woke up and I was bit. So from that point on, it was model airplanes and every book I can fly. I can remember one book in particular. Randolph Field, Texas, West Point of the Air. And I bet I read that book so many times, I almost had it memorized. Oh, when I was 16 years old, I was a soda jerk, and I managed to save $35. I had my uncle take me out to Old Chamberlain, and I went up to a fixed base operator and said, hey, I want to take flying lessons. So they said, sure, that will get you 5. Well, I got the 5 on a little tail dragger, a little J3 Piper Cub. You know they just fly. Well, I don't know if you're doing that. As young as you guys are, you don't see J3 flying very often. But
Except for the
anyway,
history books.
That's the way it was. No more money and no more flying lessons. And of course, in 1941, we know the war started. But keep in mind that during back in those days, after President Roosevelt decided to train us guys back in March of 1941, the first class started in July of 1941, they wanted people to have some college experience. But it didn't take long before they had just about wiped out all of the guys with college experience. They said, hey, we'll open it up for you high school kids. You can pass the physical, pass the physical and the mental exams, we'll take you in. So at 17 years of age, I graduated from high school, June 42. I go bebopping down to the local recruitment station and say, hey, I want to sign up. Great, found on the dotted line, set for the exam, scored reasonably high, and I say, hey, I'm on my way. But it's speed enough. They said, no, not yet. Everyone else, and I'm the only guy looking like this sitting there, and there's about 100 other guys, they were all sworn into the reserve. And they were obviously protected from the draft. But my paperwork had to go to Washington, D.C. So I sat there sweating after I turned 18. The draft is going to get me before I get my chance to go fly. But fortunately, in December, I was selected, and I finally wound up in the military. Graduated in class of 1944, 19 years old. The hottest thing that ever said, you're born into an airplane. That was also a joke. Do you know why they send young guys off to fight wars? How the old generals kind of sat there and select all of you young guys to go off to fight the war. You know why they do that? You guys are invincible, aren't you? You guys will live forever. Something bad will never happen to you. But guess what? One day, you too will also sweat it out. But I could go on and keep yakking. I don't have too much time. So, does anyone have any questions? Now, come on, you guys, ROTC, you got 10,000 questions. So give me one.
Colonel Brown.
One question.
Colonel Brown. Yes.
What is it?
Sir, Major Noel Joseph, I'm from West Point. Given that you lack talent, what talent do you wish you had when you were shot down over Edinburgh?
Let me tell you just a little bit like that. Thanks for the minutes. One of the biggest hazards of flying missions were, if you were ever hit, you were always briefed to get out of the target area. And rightly so. When you're escorting bombers off on a straight mission or whatever, there were a bunch of people down there. Not that you're aiming trying to kill people, but shrapnel stuff flying all over the place. So all of a sudden you get hit. You're in your chute. Now, can you imagine what those guys are thinking about after you just about wiped out some guy's brother, another guy's wife, and all the rest of them, and here you come floating down in a parachute? Those are some very angry people, and rightly so. And to follow that up on just a little bit, 2 more minutes.
You already claimed his time.
I was on my 30th mission, and
Welcome.
I beg your pardon.
Welcome.
I was shut. Alexander just giving me a rough time down there. I was shut down on my first mission, and one of the unfortunate things, I did not get out of the target area. I was picked up almost immediately, brought back to a little village, and I was met by 35 of the most angriest people you have ever seen in your life. And there was no doubt they had murder on their mind, and they made certain that I knew what they were going to do. Now here I was, 20 years old, looking like this, no business being up in Germany, and I got a mob of 35 or so people looking at me, and they wanted a piece of me. Fortunately, there was a good person in the crowd, a constable, that came up with a round rifle and prevented them from taking my life. But for a very short while, those first 35 minutes or so, I was frightened to death. There wasn't a doubt in my mind I was going to die. I couldn't run. I couldn't hide. I couldn't do anything. As a matter of fact, I think I was talking to myself for a while. Carol, what are you going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. I think of something, Carol.
Think of
They
something.
said, "We're going to kill you." I said, yeah, but that's what's going to happen to me. But that was the most frightening thing that ever happened to me. I was looking death straight to the eye. And at 20 years old, I had a whole lot of living to do. But from that point on, POW, in the POW camp, that was actually a safe haven, really. And I'll just cut it off there. I could go in and tell you 10,000 stories, but I think you get the picture.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
For those that did not hear the exchange, when Colonel Brown said he was shut down on his 30th mission, Colonel Jefferson said, "Welcome to the club." He said, like a tie. I just feel like I'd like to hear Colonel Brown lecture at times. Our next panelist is Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I don't know if he's a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles or not, which is not.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Philadelphia and graduated from high school in 1942. I turned 17 that same month, so I had to wait a year to get into the service. But in March of 43, I took the aviation cadet exam to go to Tuskegee and passed it. And they sent me home until I turned 18 and entered service in July of 43. Went through flying school in December 43 and graduated in September 44. After additional training, I ended up going overseas, 99 Fighter Squadron, flying a B-51. 19 years old, I had my Rolls Royce. It was, but I came back after the war, and I got out in 46 and went to NYU for 1 year, and we recalled in 48. Well, in 48 was when racial integration started, at least the Air Force. Air Force was formed in September 1947. 7 months later, the Air Force said they were going to integrate racially. And Truman signed the executive order in July. I went back in and went into maintenance school at Keystone for 50 weeks. Became a maintenance officer in electronics. Well, in 1949, when I graduated, racial integration had taken place in the Army and the Air Force. And I was assigned to the 19th Bomb Group on Guam, a B-29 outfit as a maintenance officer. But I learned to fly the airplane and checked out in it, and then in 1950 I put on the combat crew as a co-pilot. When the Korean War started, we flew over Korea. The first mission was 30th of June 1950, very early in the war. But there was two racial problems in those days. In March of in May of 1950, I got a new squadron commander who wouldn't speak to me except in the line of duty because he didn't believe in racial integration. And when we went up to Okinawa and started flying on our 4th of July 7th combat mission, at the last minute he pulled me off the airplane and replaced me. He didn't want me flying in his outfit. That was the first B-29 shot down over North Korea. My crew was in it and I didn't go down with them. But anyway, I survived that period and ended up flying a new squadron commander after that, because my squadron commander went to be deputy group commander, and the new commander put me back on flying status. So I ended up flying 45 missions, E-29s over Korea. Came back to the States in SAC, and had a good time in SAC at several bases, in Carswell and Limestone, Maine. And I say I grew up in the service, because from Limestone I went to the Institute of Technology for 2 years and got a BS in electrical engineering. And from there I went to Japan, had a good tour, made major over there, maintenance supervisor, Auburn electronic maintenance squadron. Our airplanes were the British Canberra bombers, 3rd bomb plane. From there I went to Plattsburgh, New York. Ended up a squadron major squadron commander, Auburn electronic maintenance squadron. And my wing commander was that same officer who pulled me off the airplane. He was now my wing commander. I was with him for 3 years up there. And it's the best 3 years of my career under him the second time. I love working with him the second time. I love to see people change, whatnot. But I was stayed with him forever, but Institute of Technology let me know there's a new graduate level program they were going to put into effect. They wanted to do it right away. And they didn't have time to advertise for it, so they went back to prior graduates. And my name came up, and they offered me a chance to go to Wright Pat. I went there in February '63 for 19 months and ended up with a master's in systems engineering. Reliability was the field, a new field that they came out, and I ended up with a master's degree in that. So I grew up in the service. From there I got a job at Hanscom Air Force Base and procurement and whatnot. And I made lieutenant colonel up there. And for 3.5 years I was chief of engineering and program manager for the 490L overseas Audubon program. Automatic voice networking, Open Defense first direct dial telephone system. 3.5 years I was chief of engineering and program manager for that. The first switch was cut over in June of 1969. But I've been up at Hanscom for 5.5 years. And they prepared a new gunship, 119K. They made a gunship out of it. It was a 2-carrier airplane that carried 42 paratroopers, let them out 2 at a time. But they made a gunship out of it in Vietnam. And they looked for pilots who had flown that airplane. I had hundreds of hours in the 119. And I was called to active duty as a pilot and ended up going to Vietnam in 1970. I was lieutenant colonel. Our squadron was at Van Rang, but all the airplanes were at 4 operating locations, Udon, Thailand, and Da Nang. I trained with the crew, but when I went overseas, they took the crew away from me, and I became the commander at Da Nang, and at Udon, and then later at Da Nang. I ended up flying 70 combat missions in Korea, in Vietnam, in a gunship. I came back and retired in 1971. Anyway, I say that I grew up, I was educated in the service. Someone was looking out over me. I never had to get out of an airplane. Anyway, that's the sum of my career. But the thing is, when I retired, because of my degrees, I retired on a Friday, I interviewed a GT on a Monday, and they made me a job offer. And I worked for them for 18 months, for 18 years. So I say I had the best of everything as far as the service, and I'm grateful for that.
If you have questions for Colonel Hardy, would someone stand, we'll bring a microphone to you.
Question up top.
Okay, all the way up. Just a second, Colonel Hardy. Yes, ma'am.
Good day, gentlemen. My name is Lakeisha Holligan. I'm the Assistant Director of Military and Veterans Affairs at Florida A&M University. I do have a question for you all. In your age now, how do you stay so sharp and so witty?
What was that question again?
Touche indeed, Colonel Hardy. How do you say it's so sharp and witty? That's for the entire panel, I believe.
Well, you know, I'm 93, Emily, and so I know how hard it is to get around and things like that. Age catches up with everyone. It's catching up with us too.
Slow English?
Right.
Any other questions? I have one for Colonel Hardy. I mean, if we could be reflective for a moment from World War II to Korea to the Cuban Missile Crisis to Vietnam. Your experiences leading up to Vietnam, how did they help you, sir?
Well, the thing is, when I look back at this thing with Vietnam, I was able to adapt to everything. But the thing is, when I look at the totality of my career, in World War II, they would never have anyone African ancestry over occasion. But then, at the end of my career in Vietnam, I was a detachment commander. And all my pilots were white. So it shows that evolution, how things went in the service. And I still meet with those guys there, still have reunions with some of them. But I was 45 then, they're all at least 20 years younger than me. But I get along with them very well.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Our fourth panelist is Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Jefferson, whose grandfather was one of the founding fathers at Morehouse University. His favorite place to vacation is in Hawaii. So hopefully he'll tell us what he likes to do in Hawaii. So Colonel Jefferson, let's yield the floor to you, sir. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your history with armed forces.
Good. Somebody often asks, why the hell did you go to the Army? Now remember now, 1941, World War II was kicking off. I graduated from Clark College in June '42. The draft was budding me, boom, 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 boom. So the first thing I did, went down from Detroit, went down to the Federal Building and joined. I thought they were going to send me to Tuskegee because we were segregated and all the training was at Tuskegee. No, they said, hell no, go home and we'll call you. Put me on the list. Took me almost 9 months before they called me. Now remember now, I'm a graduate, I'm a Clark College graduate, and I'm in the last class going to Tuskegee for college, blacks who are college graduates, because the Army, Navy, Marines were grabbing black men with college degrees. The classes after me went to 3 months of college training detachment. I graduated in January '44 from Tuskegee as a second lieutenant. We were sent to Selfridge Air Force Base, fly the P-39, because the three sections, the three squadrons, were the 301st, the 302nd, and the 99th. These three squadrons of blacks were flying P-39s up and down the shores outside of Italy. And my class we were supposed to be replacements for them. And we were trained in P-39s at Selfridge Air Force Base until something like the March of 44. We had a two-star general come to Selfridge. I'm out over Lake Huron, air gunnery. All officers report to post theater on a double, which means drop everything you're doing and get you behind into post theater. We were there, blacks and white officers mixing, trying to find out what the hell's going on. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. All of a sudden, somebody said, "Teacher." We popped down the aisle, strolled a two-star general. We looked at each other and said, what the hell's going on? I don't know. He rambled on and on and on for about 4, 5, 10 minutes, and then these are the words I remember. Quote, "Gentlemen, this is my airfield. As long as I'm in command, there will be no socialization between white and colored officers." Holy jumping. We've been trying to get into the officers club. They said, hell no. That was Thursday. Saturday morning, they put us on a train, and 3 days later, we ended up at Baldwin, South Carolina. We were in the first class to be shipped over to join the 332nd Fighter Group. I went into the 301st Fighter Squadron, and I flew 18 1/2 missions. My 18th missions were escorting P-51s. We could just got into P-51s. I'm cutting it short, damn it. And 18th missions, escorting B-17 and B-24s from Italy to Germany, Italy to France. Hell, I went to Ploesti 2 or 3 times. The 19th mission was a strafing mission. First time we came in the strafe. And I'm in the 301st, out of the 16 airplanes, 4 red, white, yellow, blue. I think, I can't remember, but anyway, I'm blue. I'm over here. Now, we're strafing. Too long. Southern France. Radar stations. We did not know that the invasion of southern France came off on August the 15th. Our job was to knock out the radar stations, which controlled the guns firing out to sea. Well, we went in. First flight, second flight, third flight, fourth flight. And on the fourth flight, who was the guy, last guy to go across the target? Me. You look up ahead and you see all of this stuff coming back at you. I went right across the top of the target and something said, boom. I said, what the hell's going on? Fire came up out of the floor. So I had to bail out. And here we are we're doing about 400 miles an hour because we pushed everything to the wall. So I said to myself, now remember now, out of 9 months of training, not 1 minute on how to bail out. Rise to the occasion. Go back on the stick, get some goddamn altitude. As you go up, you reach down on the left side, there's a little wheel that you rotate your nose down. If you turn the stick loose, your nose goes down. Pull that sucker up anyway. Get up. You get up. I don't know, hold it up. You reach up, pull a little red knob, and the goddamn canopy goes off. And you get up so high, I don't know how high, but I got kind of warm, so I said, it's just time to go. You turn the stick loose, and when you do, what happens to the nose? Boom, abruptly, because you racked in forward trim jab. And as the tail dropped, you have the straps here with a big buckle, and you hit that buckle, the goddamn straps come loose. Boom, I came up. I remember the damn tail going by with all that fire. And somebody said, when you bail out, you go A, B, C. But hell, I looked down the goddamn trees and reach up, pull that sucker real fast with a pick, boom, I'm in the trees. And all of a sudden I'm sitting trying to get up, and I hear this voice, Absol, yeah. I said, oh shit. German guard, and he looked up, and I'm in the trees, he's helping me get out, and he looks up and sees a little gold bar, and he salutes me. All I can do, return the salute. I was introduced to a German, I became a POW. 12th of August, 1944, when, by the time when Harold came in, during the war there were 32 men out of the 332nd Fighting Group were POWs. 32 of us. And I'm not going to go through the men who died, but then we spent the rest of the war at Stalag 3, and then Stalag 7, came back from the war. I became school teacher, city of Detroit, 30 years, 35 years, with mama's dear little stinking stunts. Lo and behold, I quit. Take care, I quit. That's it.
Before our audience asks a question, I'm just curious, 30 years you taught, was it in English? What subject did you teach?
Elementary science.
Elementary science. Yes, of course. Okay. Do we have anything from our friends on the floor? Would you still kind of stand and wait on the microphone that's coming towards you? Too bad it wasn't.
Louis Cholet from Radford University. My question for the whole entire panel is, how did you overcome racism and discrimination, and what lessons would you mind sharing about that?
By the way, you're talking to guys up here.
Everybody's got hearing
Every
aids.
one of us has bad hearing. Think about the races.
How did you overcome racial discrimination while you were serving in the service?
How did you overcome racial over your years in service? And if I could follow, what would you, subsequent to that?
With the attitude everybody's stupid except you and me. And sometimes I'm not so sure about you.
After racial integration took place in 49, all of us were shipped out to other outfits. And individually, a lot of people ran into problems that you never thought you'd run into, discrimination problems, and it hurt some of the fellows in their career-wise. But it was a fact of life, because there were many people, whites, who didn't agree with racial integration. And if you ran or served, if you served with someone like that, you may have paid a price. But gradually the services worked, and I think we came out on top.
It's still going on today.
Okay, let's bring our fifth panelist in. Lieutenant Colonel James H. Harvey III from Montclair, New Jersey. And I like your boots, sir. So let's hear your story. What brought you into the military, sir?
Okay, in January of 1943, I tried to enlist in the Army Air Corps. They told me they weren't taking enlistments at that time. It was the height of the war, and I got the picture. They didn't want me. So they drafted me in the Army in April of 1943. Caught the train in Nettico, Pennsylvania, heading to Fort Meade, Maryland. Got to Washington, D.C. We had an hour layover. Got off the train, went to a restaurant, got something to eat, went back to get on the train. They said, no way. You're in that car back there. Welcome to the South. They put me in the car where Negroes rode. It was generally the last car. That was my introduction to segregation. Let me back up now. I was born, I have to be born. I was born in Montclair, New Jersey in July of 1923.
left New Jersey and went to Pennsylvania in 1936, went to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And my dad was working there at the Hazard Wire Rope Works. Then we moved to a small town called New Angola Station. That's near Mountaintop, Pennsylvania, which is near Wilkes-Barre and Hazleton, between Wilkes-Barre and Hazleton, Pennsylvania. I went to a school, two-room schoolhouse in the 7th and 8th grades. And then when I went to high school, you had to take a bus, and I was at Mountaintop, Pennsylvania. Now, when we moved out there, we were the only family of color out there. So I did not run into any segregation whatsoever. I was treated just like any other person. So segregation never entered my mind. No problems. Went to high school at Mountaintop, Pennsylvania. We did not have to have, the only sports we had was basketball and a tumbling team. I was the anchorman of the tumbling team and captain of the basketball team. And in my senior year, we had another young lady of color come in. So now there are 2 of us in the school in my senior year. My senior year, I was class president and valedictorian. I did not know anything about segregation, like I say, until I got into the military. Now, my senior year, I was in my front yard. We were out in the country. We lived in the country. No city at all. Had a house away from the house, if you know what I mean. And I was standing in my yard and I saw this flight of P-40s fly over in formation, integration of the military. They declared they were going to integrate the military in 48, like Jefferson.
Really? Go ahead.
Don't you love the detail of 1944, 1945?
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Vanek. I'm from Texas A&M University. What was it like coming back to areas in the country where there was still segregation?
Can I repeat the question, gentlemen? What was it like in areas where there was segregation? What was it like to live?
Where I was living?
Sir, what was it like to live in an area of segregation?
When you came back home.
She asked, what was it like to live in an area where there was segregation? You came back home, or where you were stationed?
What was it like to live in areas of segregation?
It didn't bother me at all. They had their problem. I ignored their problem. I didn't let it bother me. Maybe that's wrong. Nothing in life bothers me. I just go with the flow.
Okay, let's get to our final panelist. He's our closer for this day. It's Lieutenant Colonel Harry Stewart from Newport News, Virginia. So that makes me think either he was going to build a ship or fly a plane, so he chose to fly a plane. So Colonel Stewart, let's hear your story, sir.
I see you looking at your watch, and I just wanted to find out how much time do I have.
And we'll yield whatever you like, sir.
Well, I won't take more than a half hour.
He's a closer.
Anyway, I'm going to preempt some of the questions that might be asked of me, maybe 2 questions, all right? And that question would have to do with what were the greatest things that happened to me while I was in the service there. Well, I'd say the second greatest thing was 75 years ago, plus or minus a few months, I met these guys here. And it was quite an event for me. It's been a lasting love affair for the past 75 years. The combat pilots, there are 13 of us left. And we still try to keep in contact with one another. But right on the stage, you see the remainder of the portion of that 13. But anyway, getting back to the question, what were the greatest things that happened to me in the service? And that was one of them. That was the second greatest thing. I'd like to say is that these gentlemen, Colonel Friend over there in the end, who was the first panelist there, he was born in Columbia, South Carolina, but he was raised in Manhattan, the borough of Manhattan, New York. And you introduced me as being born in Newport News, Virginia, and I was raised
in the borough of Queens in New York there. So we were over distance apart over the East River here as far as, but I didn't know him before I went into the service. He was operations officer in the 301st Fighter Squad here. And when I went over there, he had already gotten about 100 missions under his belt. He was serving his second tour. But anyway, the war ended in May of 1945, and we all of us got on the boat together, and we came back from Italy, and landed in Staten Island, and Bob Friend, Colonel Friend over there, he went home with his family in Manhattan there, and I took the subway and went home to my family in Queens. I guess I was home for about 2 days, and I got a call from Colonel Friend, and he says, Harry, he said, I'd like you to come on over and meet my family in Manhattan here. So I went over and met his family, and little did I know that this would end up doing a 68-year marriage to his sister. I call him Cupid because he did the same thing with his another one of his sisters.
Look there.
One of the Tuskegee Airmen home and introduced them, and they were married. So a question that I got from somebody when I mentioned this story before is he said, well, how many times did Cupid do this again? And Cupid answered, none. And they said, why? And he said, I ran out of sisters. That was the greatest things that happened to me while I was in the service.
Wait.
No, there's one other thing.
You shut down 3 airplanes in one mission. Okay, you didn't mention that on one mission, 3 airplanes.
It's up there. It's up there.
We have just a question or two before we have, okay, so let's start to the gentleman who is in black, all the way up in that direction, and I'll come back to the middle. Just 1 or 2 questions. There's a microphone coming towards you, sir.
Hi, Colonel. My name is Ray Simon. I'm an artist, but one of the questions I wanted to ask you, and both for all of you guys, have you ever looked at yourself as a civil rights movement yet to come? I mean, in all reality, as history proceeded, you guys were the trailblazers. I was talking to Colonel Fred and Colonel Jefferson yesterday, and almost laid the path for Ruby Bridges, Rosa Parks, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. What I find interesting is the March 24th, 1945 mission to the Diamond Benz Tank Factory was 20 years in one day, which was 1965, March 25th, where Dr. Martin Luther King walked across the bridge to vote. So have you ever, my question to you is, have you ever looked at yourself, all of you, as a civil rights movement yet to come? You didn't protest, you didn't march, what you guys did was did. And you became some of the best pilots in the country.
Somebody
Well,
got to do it.
I've been asked that question a number of times, and while we were going through training, and I think that the panelists will attest to this, is that I don't think we dreamed at that time that we were making an impact on the future of what was happening as far as racial integration was concerned and that type of thing. We thought we were doing our job as citizens of the United States and performing as soldiers in the military. It wasn't until maybe in the late 1970s and even more recent when 2 films came out. One was called the Tuskegee Airmen, which had worldwide distribution. That was put out by HBO, and the second was the RedTails, which was a Lucas film that was put out by George Lucas. Anyway, they got worldwide distribution, and around that time, there's all sorts of inquiries started coming in as far as, we'd like to hear from you guys and what you did and give us a rundown on the history of the organization that you're doing and that type of thing. So to answer the question again is that no, I don't think we realized how much impact we were going to make on integration while we were in the service there. But ready to kind of after you came out of the service and you got to work everybody.
I think I heard Colonel Jefferson say
But I
somebody
was-
had to do it, right?
Seriously, I was satisfying something inside of me. I wanted to fly. I flew, caught all kinds of hell. But let's face it, that's what was going on as a black person in this country. And I came out after the war, put all my stuff together.
It's in the book.
RedTail captured, RedTail free. I wrote this book, and it was highly accepted, but it was something on the inside of me that made me learn to fly. And teaching school, I felt that somewhere young black men needed to learn how to fight the system. The system is vicious, and unless you know how to cope with the vicious system, you got nothing. And when I taught school, well, to tell you something, we had things called safety patrols, remember? Where a little kid had a white belt and had the responsibility of patrolling or covering that corner. Well, in order to be a safety, you had to be a nerd. Number one. And so a black teenager or black kid telling him at that time to be a nerd was a no-no. Ostracization. You had to be on time. Colonel Davis demanded us to be on time.
Have always been so supportive of the United States military. When tragedy strikes and U.S. soldiers, airmen, Marines, and sailors are called upon, Maglite is there supporting their efforts.
Couple of original Tuskegee Airmen.
Really?
Yes. Actually, both of them first Top Guns.
Can I take a picture?
Sure, go for it.
Get together.
What's your impression of this memorial?
Yeah, look, can you see this in black? This way?
Yes.
And, guys, can you come on this side? Just a picture. Just want to know your impression of this.
Yes. Quite a memorial. Very. The memorial? Yes, I've been here before.
Yeah.
Veterans Group.
Oh wow, that water's in the way.
But as I said, this is the first Cup done in 1949. It wasn't Tom Cruise. It was this guy.
And this guy. And you did it with one hand tied behind your back. Right. You guys are at a different.
São José from Portugal, which wrecked off of South Africa in 1794. 200 souls lost at that time. There are iron ballasts from the ship. The museum worked with various maritime archaeologists and the government of South Africa to return the ship to South Africa, and they have lent us materials from the ship, including the iron ballasts that represent those people who had been on to talk about the past and their ancestors, and to talk about it together. It was kind of a convening of the community, an opportunity to reflect on that heritage and to do so together. And everyone agreed that the slave cabin should come to this museum so that it could be shared with the world.
African Americans ran towards freedom within Union lines. Union General John Eaton recalled, "Imagine an army of slaves and fugitives pushing its way irresistibly toward an army of fighting men. Their arrival among us was like the oncoming of slaves."
Miniature pocket-sized Emancipation Proclamation that was issued after President Lincoln had issued that. These were created so that soldiers could carry it with them, and as they were going to various towns and cities, and declaring that they were that the Union Army had won and they were liberating those places, they would read the Emancipation Proclamation aloud.
Bearing the name for themselves of being the people who will escort those bombers to the target, stay with them, protect them, and get them back home.
There's the real heroes.
15,000 sorties and lost only 25 escorted bombers to enemy fighters. It was a record to be proud of. They had proven their book, and then some. So when they returned home, many continued to battle disability.
I tried to be a pilot as one of the airlines in the United States at that time. And as I filled my application with my honors and number of flying hours, proud to serve my college class, I turned it in, and I left to leave, and I realized I had left my newspaper. So I went back to get my newspaper.
And they were throwing it?
And I just got there, and she said, "We don't hire Negroes here."
Detroit RedTail would like to thank the monetary contributions of individual contributors and is brought to you by American Muscle, your Mustang Aftermarket Authority. The Detroit chapter of Tuskegee Airmen, Incorporated. The Tuskegee Airmen National Museum. And Detroit RedTail. Donate and help keep RedTail rolling the Tuskegee Airmen into the American car culture.